Hey guys, it's churches, graveyards and graves, part 2 at St Giles in Whittington, which is a lovely little village in Staffordshire, just in case anybody wanted to know. And I'm just going to show you a couple of graves. It's got quite a lot of 19th century graves, like most of them have. It's got some modern graves, but without a doubt I've probably found the oldest grave. So I'm just going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you one other. So without further ado, let's turn it around and I'm going to show you this particular grave. So I'm pretty sure that this is the oldest grave in the graveyard. I certainly haven't seen older, and sadly a lot of it has been worn away, but you can just about see the date there, and it says 1631, and you can see some of the wording: this place and desire the night be set, and you can certainly see the shape, but sadly a lot of it has now eroded away. You can see most of the top has eroded away, which is really sad because it might have had some sort of mortality symbols in. But what you can tell about 17th century graves is they were often really thickly made. The writing was like kind of badly laid out, really, in comparison to even 18th century graves. And this is very typical of that period. So if I stand up, you can sort of see how thick this grave is. And they would have been very simplistic, not that much on them. And sometimes, like, they would have had a symbol of a skull or crossbones or something really crudely carved onto it. But it is really interesting to see this. And it actually tells you that there has obviously been a place of worship here that actually predates the church that we now see on this site. So that's this wonderful grave. And if I just sort of move it over here, just to show you the difference in terms of style, we have these slate graves here. I'm pulling my dog along, and look at the carvings here. So this one's obviously 1887, 1856, and you get a much better laid out style, sometimes an epitaph, thinner graves, a completely different style to the 17th century graves. Here's a typical 18th century grave, and you can see the date there. It says 1764, and again, it's a different style to the 19th century graves, and sometimes you get it more crudely carved, and it says here lies the body of those. You can see how they've rammed up the S there. Bickley, he died, and look at the way they spelled died. So we'd use that word died like as in we dye clothes now. We have an I there where they had a Y, but I'm not sure the I existed. And then it says January the 4th, 1764. So it's really interesting to see the different styles of graves that you see when you move from 17th century to 18th century and then to 19th century. I find looking at the styles of graves really interesting, and sometimes when I'm in these churchyards I just try and imagine what it would have been like to live in them periods, and what this village would have been like. There's still a few houses from that time period, and this church wouldn't have looked the same, and these graves wouldn't have looked the same, and what this whole area would have been like in like the 17th century when that person was buried in 1631. What was it like here? I always find that quite interesting, and obviously very different to how it would be now. So now we're going to go to one more grave that's of real interest.